Hey, what's happening? Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I am not late. If your clock says 4:30, you didn't fall back an hour. You got to fall back in the autumn and spring forward in the spring. Daylight savings time or whatever it's called. So I don't know if the whole country still does this, but if you think I'm late and your clock says 4:30, you're wrong. I'm not late. You are. All right. Enough about time this morning. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I think I'm just going to put it right out there. And I've realized this over the last couple months. This has been an ongoing thing throughout my whole life. It's not something that just recently I just recently discovered, but I feel more comfortable, more at ease, more likely to consider a gay man my friend than a straight guy. It takes a lot longer for me to make friends with a straight guy. And it's the truth. And to be honest with you, I think this is I'm going to tell you why. There's two basic reasons. One of them I think is a normal alpha thing between men and women. I bet you women do this too. I'll get into in a second. And the other reason is because I really believe that I am psychologically damaged. I'm not saying that to be funny or anything, but I'll get into that more in a second. First thing I want to talk about though is, you see this on TV sometimes with comedies or whatever. They make a big joke out of it. Like some Family Guy or whatever will find out this man is gay, and they're like, oh, don't do this in front of him. Better don't look at my backside, and the majority of the time, these guys got a beer gut out to here. They're all a 5'5", 260 pounds, balding, glasses, and they're all afraid that the gay man is going to find him attractive. I always look at these guys that say this, that they feel nervous around a gay man, and I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. I have worked around, I've been friends with gay men. I'm 56 years old. Over the period of my life, I've worked with, I've become friends with a lot of gay men. It is what it is, and it's not. Some of it's the jobs I did, the stores I went into were more orientated that way. But that's not it. It's just throughout my life, I've become friends with a lot of gay men, and I realized that I feel more comfortable. I do feel more at ease, and I just realized this more than ever. I go to my local bank, and there's a guy there. He's the only person I don't remember people's names. Danny. Right, and he comes across. He's a big guy like me, but right off the bat, you get the sense that I don't want to use the word effeminate because that's not the right word, but you get the feeling that this person might be gay, and I would always go and immediately I felt comfortable with him, and as he wouldn't be making out my rent check or whatever, my bank business, we chat every time I go in there. And we started talking about camping, and he mentioned his partner and his companion, and then it was, this is over the period of a year and a half now. And every time I go in there, I feel so comfortable around this dude. I've actually thought in my mind, there were some younger guys and girls working alongside him. And I'm wondering, because I feel so at ease, and I laugh and I kid around with this guy. And even when I don't go to him as the teller, I'll say, hey, Danny, and I'll start chatting with another teller when I'm at this teller, with Danny when I'm at this teller. In the back of my head, I'm thinking, some of these other tellers, these younger guys or girls probably assume that I'm gay too, and I don't care. I don't care. I like this dude. He's a good guy. I automatically felt comfortable with him. Before I get more into that, I used to work in an architect's office in my early 20s, and there was a small guy there, and I worked there for about 3 years. And he was out, he was gay, and I got along fantastic with this guy. He had a sharp wit, he was a wise ass, he would bust me, he would tear me apart, he was smart, I got along good with him, and when I went to Cape Cod, one of Audrey's sister's friends, every morning I would get up and we'd sit outside, and he was a gay man that Audrey's sister got to know through college, and she was very good friends with. And I would go outside every morning, and just me and him would sit and chat. And I feel comfortable around these guys. I feel more at ease around a gay man than I do a straight man. Like the first time I told you guys about the policeman. I think I told you that the policeman, just after what happened here in Bristol, I told you guys about the policeman that lives in my building. And he's a good guy and everything, but when I met him in the gym, this is the alpha thing. When I meet another straight guy, there's a couple things that happen, and I'm willing to bet this happens with all guys too. We're friendly right off the bat. Like I said, this straight guy that I met this cop in the gym here, he shakes my hand. He's introduced himself, and I get a good vibe. But right away, there's an alpha thing going on. I don't know if a lot of guys will admit this, but right off the bat, you could sense if a person's gay or straight. And when I meet another straight guy, there's a sense of competition. I think, I'll be honest with you. I think the first thing goes through my head is I'm taller, I'm stronger, and I could kick his butt. If it got down to it, if we went fist to, even when we're just friends, hey, how you doing? I'm Daryl, and we're chatting. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking the alpha thoughts. Like if it got down to it, I could take this guy, man. Or I'm taller, or I'm stronger. Whenever I work down in the gym, I've always just got a bad vibe from the other guys. The guys will slim their weights down next to me, or I'll put on 120 pounds, and the other guy next to me will put on 120 plus 10. And it just gets to be a drag. I don't feel at ease. I'm talking friendship here. It doesn't make me want to run out of the building or anything like that. But we're talking friendship, feeling at ease. I feel more at ease when I'm talking to a gay guy. Like I said, my friend Danny at the bank. I just feel I don't want to say this so it comes across insulting. I hope it doesn't, because that's not how I mean this. But I don't feel that sense of competition when I talk to Danny, my gay friend at the bank. He likes men and I like women, so there's no competition. When I meet other straight men, you size each other up. A lot of men probably won't admit this, but you're sizing each other up. Who's more attractive, Or if I meet a guy and his girlfriend or his wife, right off the bat, I'm thinking, does his wife think I'm attractive? Does she think I'm hot? Does she think I'm hotter than her husband? I guarantee a lot of men will not admit this, but I'll tell you that it's the truth. And I bet you a lot of women do this too. When either straight woman meets straight woman or a gay woman meets gay woman, they size each other up. It's a competition thing for dating. Or with men, I think it's an alpha thing too, for jobs, money, who swings the biggest, a contest. Let's just say that. And I realized this lately, that I would rather be friends with a gay guy. When I'm friends like with Danny, I think this has never come up. Danny or the other guy, the gay man that I worked with, or the friend that I met at Cape Cod. This never comes up, but I think it's an unspoken thing that I think gay men have gaydar, and they realize that I'm straight, I'm not, just because I'm being friendly, I'm not hitting on him. I think Danny realizes that, because there's no, he's never said anything like that. I think they realize, and there's just a relaxed feeling between, because we're not competing for the same dating pool. Also, I mentioned the thing about psychology. I did this other video just a couple of videos back talking about the man who dated my mother and what happened. And this was a straight guy by all means. And like I said, I talked more about this. If you go back a couple videos, and you'll see, I don't want to get all into it again because I'll have to check all the box marks. But from what happened to me when I was younger, if a guy is too friendly, a lot of times I just don't feel comfortable until I really get to know a guy. Like if it's another straight guy. Because in the back of my head, I think I'm wondering if they want something from me. If they're tricking me, if they're using me, if they're, secretly, and this goes back to what happened to me when I was younger. I realize that now. But this happens all the time, and especially like if there's any skin contact. Like I said, even shaking hands, or if a guy just pats me on the shoulder, I tense up, man. I get into defense mode. And, and it's not that thing that I mentioned at first about some men, I hope he doesn't look at my butt. It's not that at all. You know, I feel more comfortable around gay men because they're gay and it's out there on the table, and they like other gay men, and I'm not gay, so. But predators, that's who I'm talking about. You know, like I said, go back a couple of videos. I don't want to get all into it again here, but I feel more comfortable. I do. You know, I guarantee you a lot of men won't admit this, but I think I'd rather be friends with gay men than straight men. Straight men, I wouldn't say that, but it just takes a lot more time. I'm much more cautious, and there's a feeling out period. And I think, honestly, in all male straight guy relationships, you have to establish who the alpha is, who the leader is. You know, there can't be two strongest guys, because sooner or other, you'll fight. You will. Yeah, and I've done this probably a dozen times throughout my life, and then you're friends again. But you will, you know, that has to be established. It's this, I really believe that. It's this alpha thing. And I don't know if that happens between homosexual men too. I don't think they're that silly, but I think straight men are. You know, they have to establish who the dominant male is in any relationship. And it's just a drag, you know. And when I talk to a gay guy, it's just, I feel my guard is down. You know, like I said, I think they realize I'm straight. I realize they're gay. We're not. There's no attraction, so that's all off the table. We're not attracted to the same pool of people. You know, there's no competition between us, and I'm at ease. Let me know what you think. And hey, just because you write a comment below and you're friendly, I'm not gonna, you know, think that you're trying anything funny. It's an in-person thing. So all the guys that comment, don't worry. All right, have a good Sunday.